The juggernaut that is Jaiswal, it is Yashasvi's year this year in the IPL. 98 of 47 in a chase of 150. You think, yeah, okay, could have done that, but it's how he got them. It's how many he's getting, and he is making a serious mark on this tournament. He puts an end to that rather unfortunate and miserable run that the Rajasthan Royals have had. They now look a team that are the ones that were supposed to make the playoffs first. And we look back at what's a commanding chase and a record for himself. Yashasvi Jaiswal is the fastest half-centurion now in the tournament's history, all to his own, beating KL Rahul in the UAE a few years ago and then Pat Cummins last year. So we look back at another Yashasvi special with Deep Dasgupta and Ian Bishop, both of whom, had they been selectors, are commanding and calling for his place in the national side for a reason. We will discuss that on Visit Saudi presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout. What an innings, Deep.
Oh, unbelievable. And you know, the best part was, it didn't seem like he was forcing the issue. Played on the merit of the ball, and it was just flawless. It was absolutely flawless for me. And again, just to take up what you just said about him getting selected, it's not just the quantity of runs, but the quality as well. The bowlers that he's faced over the season, he's been very consistent. The way he's playing against them, invariably in the opposition, you'll always have at least one international bowler that he's facing with a new ball or a spinner. But he's come up trumps against them as well. So again, you've got the quantity, but you also got quality in there.
What is it about today's innings and the way he's approached it, Bish, that tells you that this 21-year-old uncapped Indian player is something else?
I don't think it's about today's innings that told me that. He told me that a while ago. Not just today, it was just like icing on the cake or something like that. Remember his 100. Even in the last couple of years, Deep and Raunak, and for our viewers, he's been trending in this direction. 2021, 249 with a strike rate of 150. 2022, average 26 strike rate of 132, 133. And today, it's just gone up a notch this year. But look at his red ball numbers.
Yeah, I was coming to that.
My goodness. His list A numbers.
Before the IPL, Irani Trophy got a 250 and a 150. So it's, okay, a lot of people will be saying, oh, 1 year in the IPL, but it's not 1 year in the IPL, it's across formats. Yeah, you can't take, I mean, we're talking about Rinku as well, somebody who's earned his stripes the hard way, right? It's not like just coming to the IPL, only you play IPL to IPL and you score or you don't. These two guys, and especially Yashasvi, he's just had a fabulous season.
I'll tell you what sort of I was like, wow, in today's, particularly today. Nitish Rana's bowled the first over, and at that point we weren't knowing the the value of that gamble. But it's a left-hand batter. The off-spinner's bowling first. He's not faced a lot of off-spin early on. The easiest thing is let's see if it's turning, gripping, get a single and get Butler on strike. The way he took down Nitish Rana, does it tell you something of how this set of players thinks?
Absolutely yes. I mean, listen, he got the wicket of Shikhar last game. Nitish Rana came and bowled and got Shikhar. I think that was the ploy. That was the whole idea, left-hander. And what he does, first ball steps out.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's just the merit. I mean, he seems to be in that zone where he's not thinking about, the end result or what will happen, what can happen. Just see the ball and hit the ball kind of a thing. So obviously he's in the zone, and this is where you need to kind of get him wherever he needs to go.
Can I just add, Deep, I think Deep was with me, at the side of me when we played, was it Guwahati? When they played in Guwahati?
The Punjab game you're talking about?
That would have been the RR Punjab game, yeah.
I don't know if it's a Delhi Capitals
I'll tell you which game. You tell me what you want to say first.
He got 60 of 31.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there thinking, yeah, we know this kid can play. But one of the things I wrote to myself when I got back to my room was, he plays with a spirit of freedom. And I was kind of comparing it at the time to DDP, who looked a little bit like he was searching for that freedom. So this isn't just now. Jaiswal is a free spirit. Whatever they've said to him in that dressing room, they obviously gave him that security to say, you go out and play the way that you feel is able to express yourself, and there won't be any consequences if you fail once or twice.
It was the Delhi
just
game.
that.
Was the Delhi game, 60 of 31 in Guwahati. I guess this is now clearly a very prominent display of the new mindset of Indian top order batters.
See, this is also a different generation if you think about it. He's what, 21, 22?
21,
So
yes.
these guys have grown up playing T20 cricket. See, the earlier generation grew up playing red ball cricket where you still were told and ingrained into you the value of staying there and, you know, your wicket and all that stuff. But this guy, they've just grown up playing white ball cricket. So their approach will always be a little different. So you've got to capitalize on that. You've got to capitalize before he gets back into, you know, the first class system again, and suddenly what happens, and I can tell you this, a year or two goes by, you're not picked, then you start thinking differently. They're like, okay, I've got to score runs. So then the focus rather than the approach becomes the end result. Then you're thinking how I need to get 800 runs this season. Then the process part of it, the fearlessness that Bish is talking about, that goes out of the window because you're thinking about the end result.
That's a fascinating.
And I guess it comes to what we were just discussing. T20 has Bish, always been about form, right? He's hot at the moment.
Yeah.
India don't play a lot of T20I cricket given there's a 50-over World Cup.
Right.
But the next T20I series, surely you must cash in on this form.
I like that thinking to play guys when they are in form, irrespective of how young they are. There are going to be dips in the valley as players go along their career, batters or bowlers. But I prefer to see, and as selectors, right? And your point goes to selectors too, that mindset as we've discussed. A selector shouldn't just be looking at numbers. Your selectors must be good enough to say, all right, he's scoring in T20 at this level. What am I seeing that says he can transfer this up the line? If you know cricket, and you know cricketers. So you are able to tell with some guys, he's scoring a lot of runs, but he ain't ready.
Yeah.
This kid looks as though he has it. Along with some others. If you don't want all those Tilak Varmas, send them to the Caribbean. We'll have them. We'll get them. We'll make space for them.
Well, let's talk about just this Indian team, not the West Indian team. For now.
All Indian teams.
Yeah, all right. Maybe that's the future. No, that's not. It can't be. Anyway, but yes, in all seriousness, simple thing. Yashasvi Jaiswal, not just by today's innings, but we're learning more and more of what we already know, is ready now for the highest level. Yes, Deep?
Yes.
Bish?
Yeah, I would say so. I just want to add, sorry, I've been on the phone to a colleague, one of our colleagues, general colleagues. Can somebody do a documentary on him?
Yeah, it's a great story.
Please.
It's a magnificent story.
I want to see
where he's
it.
come from. Yeah.
You know, if just to take that point, maybe after 2-3 years, once he's established himself in international cricket, that's what I'd say. His journey's just begun, is what I'd say.
No, but I want to see his journey from where he was and coming.
It's already
to
a magnificent
Mumbai,
story from where he
in the tent.
From the tent
selling
of
food on
Azad
the
Maidan.
streets.
Yes, all of that. That's there on ESPN Cricket Info. You can always read it.
I was going to plug.
Yeah, for now we'll cover it.
That was just a tease to get you to bring it down.
Good man. You know what? Let me plug it. Download the ESPN Cricket Info mobile app. Search for the Yashasvi Jaiswal story. There it is. Scores a lot more. You get more than just the scores. That's what it means, Bish. And you get the story there.
You see how good we are as guests?
And this is seamless. This wasn't sort of planned.
Just segued into it.
It's like Jaiswal. He's just commanding conversation before, after games. There might be so much more, but he's standing tall over the rest of the Rajasthan Royals side. Again, tall over any of the other batters in the IPL. He's pretty much got that orange cap going his way now. He's making a charge too. It looks like Jaiswal is going to make this season a very special one. And it's nice to have one of the great records, personal records, in this league's history. The fastest IPL 50 for a young kid at 21 is such a sweet thing to have. And I'm sure he'd be very, very happy today.
I'm sure. And that might also encourage him to keep going this way. That's a record that you want to have it in this format, the fastest 50.
Yeah.
Listen, he's going to play a few of those for sure.
Would you want to share something with Nitish Rana today, maybe a gift or some flowers for that record? Not just for the over, but for 4 of those just coming for a back foot defense or a back foot punch through the form of overthrows. Let me go straight into that. We were on air at the mid-show, Bish, and we saw Rana, okay, how's this going to go? And Deep points out that he did have success. But today, would you say it's a fair gamble and it didn't pay off? Or would you say, you should have had one of your best spinners bowling that first over, given you only had 140 odd to play with?
Yeah, I don't want to look at it in hindsight. You'd asked me the question, and I think your question was, is it a gamble? I think those were your words. And I said, yes, it's a gamble because it's not a front line spinner.
Yeah.
It's a guy who's handy, but he's not your specialist spinner with only 2 fielders outside the circle. When he got Shaker, I thought it was good captaincy, but that was down like 14th or 15th over or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, so credit to Yashasvi for taking it apart too, because the numbers we've often talked in T20 before, if you can sneak in an over in the first over from even one of the part-timers, it's worth doing. Not tonight to Jaiswal.
Yeah. So would Rana be, it looks really bad if you look back at it.
Yeah.
But would you call it like sort of a terrible call at the time?
I wouldn't say terrible call. I mean, gamble, yes, it was. Was there a better option, as you mentioned, getting another spinner like a Varun or Sunil or someone? Maybe yes. But listen, you can understand and sympathize why he went for that, and you can understand that call.
Yeah. He had to do something different. He decided to take the ball himself, and he's bowled all right, Nitish Rana. But it was made to look really silly with how good Yashasvi Jaiswal was in that first over. Right. Everything looking good for the Rajasthan Royals. Honestly, there's nothing else to discuss. Jaiswal has killed that game single-handedly. Samson's got a quick 40. He tried his best to get him the chance to get 100 as well.
Yeah.
But that's done. So we'll go to what Bish wanted to talk about, whether their bowling has come together. And Asif has done a job for them. He's got the wicket of Russell Bish. Do you sense this will be the balance of the team now, where we won't see the overseas seamer, we'll see Trent Bolt, we won't see any other overseas seamer, and we'll see the 3 mainstream batters and the Indian bowlers will carry on.
Ooh.
With Chahal bowling at the death.
Chahal definitely have a death. Definitely. I still want to believe, me personally, there's a little room for flexibility depending on where you are, who you're playing with. Joe Root, if Joe is in the 11 is giving them that confidence to play that way, or whether there'll come a time where you perhaps need Zampa to come back in, or you perhaps need Obed McCoy to come back in. So I wouldn't say it's sealed for the rest of the tournament. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, and got a feel for Joe Root, man. Twice now. Twice now. I think, whatever it is. But you know what? The other thing, this game, I think just seemed like a possessed team. I think one thing that stood out was fielding. They were absolutely brilliant. The catches, the outfielding, before Yashasvi, I think that 149 could have easily been 160, 165 without those catches. Could have been more even without those catches and the outfielding. So there's something that has been said in that dressing room, because this team looked different and they needed the spark, to be honest. After those 5 losses in the last 6, they needed something. And I don't know who said what there, but this team looked so different. And I was expecting like a team who would be a little down after those defeats and all that. But starting from that first catch of Hetmaya, that was unbelievable. He made it look easy, but that was a top catch. And then just different. The other example, really small one, Ravichandran Ashwin. Somebody had to bowl from the wrong end, right, against the left-handers. He came in and bowled from the end where the left-hander's leg side was the shorter one. And he came in and did a good job. So, things like that, small things like that, where guys are saying, you know what, I'll do it for the team. And that's a great sign for RR going forward.
Yeah, I was hoping that was going to be a next topic to bring up. So I was sitting back there waiting for it. No, exactly that they played like a team possessed. It's like the last match where they dropped those catches and faltered at the end. I don't know if Kumar's ways to give you a rocket, but somebody obviously say, yo, we need to be the best version of ourselves tonight. And everyone caught fire with it. From that feeling that we saw. That tells you this was a team that said, you see what happened in that last game? Cannot afford to have that happen again. So they were determined and possessed. Absolutely brilliant.
And went back to Sandeep again, even though Trent Bolt had 1 over to
left.
These are things which are so important, small things. And just imagine someone like Sandeep, how proud he would be and what he would be feeling. That even though there's Trent Bolt and over from him, but the captains come to me. Those things, they do help. All these 1%ers would add up.
Yep, it looked like a team with a vengeance today with what had happened in the last few games. So unfortunately, the Knight Riders have come up against these wounded tigers of sorts, and they have really put them to the sword. What it does is also give Rajasthan such a boost in their net run rate. It may not be as significant given the 2-point split between Chennai and Lucknow, because this could very well have challenged for a 2nd and 3rd place position. But as it turns out, if they are in a lockjam with Mumbai, with Bangalore, with possibly even Kolkata, who could still, now they could only get to 14 now, but Punjab can still get to 16. Bangalore can get to 16. Lucknow will beat them to it if they get wins in their remaining games. But a lot of these teams play each other. Remember, Rajasthan play Bangalore as well next. So that'll essentially decide it, but it keeps them pretty happy at the top half. So they jump 3 spots and they are now firmly in the playoff spots where they'd like to be with 2 games to go. All's well then at Rajasthan. Are we now re-evaluating their chances of the playoffs, which are now looking very good after a win like this?
Definitely. Just the fact that everyone's chipped in, all the departments chipped in. Yep.
Bish making it. Rajasthan. They've got RCB to play. I'll just let you know. And they've got a game against Punjab at Dharamshala on the 19th of May.
So all I'm saying is they're looking good now. They're looking really good, but it's still going to be tough, qualifying.
You don't guarantee anything in this IPL unless you're out front by 8 points or something like Gujarat.
Yeah.
Don't take anything for granted. What I would like to ask them, if I were able to speak to Jaiswal or Sanju, why is it that someone, whatever happened for this game, how do you package that and take it into every game? Don't let it just be a one-off because X, Y happened whenever. It has to be an every game thing.
Should I just check your schedule as well? I have it. If you've got the next Rajasthan game, then perhaps you could ask them that question.
It was said tongue-in-cheek.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, I'm sure one of your most able colleagues is having a chat with Jaiswal right now.
No, it's worth asking though, because as sportsmen, and I've been in the team, I've said it, I watch a lot of American sports, and you hear guys say, well, I was motivated because I went back to play against my old team, or this guy who was giving me some cheek a little bit earlier. Come with that every day. Bring your A game every day. Why does it take an external incentive when you're being paid X number of dollars? Bring it every day.
Just drifting a bit. Talking about MJ, that's what he would do, right?
Sorry?
Michael Jordan, that's what he would do. He just pick fight, just randomly pick fight with someone and take it personally.
But we know guys who pick fights in cricket. I know guys in cricket who pick a fight to get themselves going.
Could you name one or two?
No, I'm not.
No. I think we're both thinking of the same name. I think all 3 of us are thinking of the same name.
Yeah, of course we are. A quick word on KKR. They were the other team in it, even though it didn't feel like it. And that's just because of how dominant Rajasthan Royals were. But this was also a team that had matters in their hands. If they could string every win, then perhaps they could make their way to the playoffs. What do they look back at this? Would it just be a batting failure, essentially, that didn't get them enough runs?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the first 6 overs kind of set the tone. It wasn't that bad. They just made about 36 in the first 6. And as soon as Jason Roy got out, and then obviously 2 wonderful catches, Gurbaz and Jason Roy, suddenly that intent was gone for a while. The next 3, 4 overs, 5 overs were rather slow and kind of tedious at times. So, I mean, they picked it up later, but I just thought that kind of set the tone the first 6 overs, just 36, on which seemed like not the best pitch, but not that bad either to bat on.
Are they striking you as one of, not the only team, but one of a few teams, Bish, that aren't quite sure about their batting first template and are a much more dominant team when they know what they have to chase?
I don't know, I don't know what the numbers are with them this season, where they've gone batting first, batting second. They're a dangerous team when they bowl second on a tired pitch as well, with all those spinners. I just think they're an inconsistent team. That's why I term them dangerous. They blow hot, they blow cold for a little while. They're just that sort of team this season. But it just tells you how hard I find. I'm a chasing guy. My default position is chase in T20 cricket. Unless I come out on a day and I see something, then I'll change my mind. But my initial thing is to chase, because I find the more T20 cricket evolves, the harder it is to know what a good total is batting first. Even though the numbers favor chasing this season, batting first this season, my thing is I'm more sure what I want to go after, unless it's 263. But that's just me. Everybody's different. So if you're a bat first man, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm more comfortable default chasing until I see something that needs to be changed.
Yeah, in fairness, I'm just looking at them. They have won enough games batting first too, where they've got 200 plus. Both games against RCB, the game against Sunrisers Hyderabad. So those are invariably when they've put 200 odd on the board, and that's what they fell short of today. All right. Are we feeling like Kolkata with 14? Now, 14 seems to be a number which is unlikely to get you to the playoffs.
Yes, I mean, looking at that logjam there with so many teams on 10 and have the possibility of making it to 16, it looks highly unlikely, to be honest. And Rajasthan, that, to be honest, I mean, if ever net run rate was, if it would be an issue.
Yeah, with 14, then they're behind.
Then 0.6, I mean, that's as good as 2 points. That net run in itself.
All right, they've got Chennai and Lucknow to play. Not the easiest two games to close out, but there are no easy games in the IPL. So we leave it there. It's a big thank you to Deep Dasgupta and Ian Bishop. Bish is off to the Wankhede tomorrow. I believe you are as well, Mr. Dasgupta. So enjoy yourselves and give us some exciting cricket on a good surface and some needle perhaps as Hardik returns to the Wankhede. I wonder who would you pick as your player of the match? I asked you all yesterday as well. So you had Chahal, who was excellent and effectively, got them to a below par score. And you have Jaiswal playing like that. Deep?
Yashasvi.
You've gone Jaiswal?
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Bish? I love it. Bish takes a few seconds and then...
I'm just going through my impact player machinery, and the person that affected the outcome of the match most, I would go Chahal. Not saying Deep is wrong. My thing is Chahal, because I thought they were going to get the 150 anyway, not at great pace. But the only reason they were only going to chase 150 was because Jaiswal did what he did.
All right, fair enough. Well, as it turns out, Jaiswal's been given the player of the match, but you hear in Bishop's point, I would have seen, there could have been a strong case for Chahal as well. Yeah.
2 of those 4 overs were in the death, by the way.
Yes. And it got Venki Iyer, got Nitish Rana, so they were good wickets that Yuzvendra Chahal got today. And he'll remember this day too. Yes.
What is your quick info impact player model?
Fantastic. The MVP of today is deemed to be Yashasvi Jaiswal with 112.84 points, and Yuzvendra Chahal second with 92.23.
That's okay.
What would have enhanced Jaiswal was the fact that he went at a strike rate of 208 on a day where everyone has gone on an average. The highest strike rate in the first innings was Gurbaz at 150. And in this innings was Sanju at 165. So given no other batter went above 165 and Jaiswal's gone 200, that's perhaps what's gone in
I could live with that.
That is also something you can check out on the ESPN Cricket for mobile app. Go have a look right now. There it is. Scores a lot more. Go to the scorecard. You'll have the impact list on the top right of that scorecard, which has got a pretty picture of Yashasvi Jaiswal smiling. Boy, will he be smiling if he carries on in this sort of form. Big thank you again to Bish and Deep. I'll miss the two of you tomorrow. I'll be stuck with Tom Moody for Mumbai Gujarat Titans. I will welcome Amol Mazumdar as well. Thank you very much. And I will see you later in the week. And I hope to see you every day as well as we enter the business end of the league stage. So look forward to your company on Visit Saudi Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout on Friday. Good night.